Welcome to Living Life, the show that allows you to pursue things that make you happy, curious, and keep you open-minded. This is Living Life on the Empty the Bench Podcast Network. Hello, and welcome to Living Life, Sweets, Treats, and Eats on the Empty the Bench Podcast Network. I'm Howie Morgasen. On this show, we're going to talk about New Year's, and it's just a great celebration to get together with family and friends and celebrate a new year. This was a tough year for some people, so people are looking forward to saying goodbye to 2021 and hello to 2022. But we're still going to have the celebrations. They're just a little bit smaller because people are being careful, but that's okay. So on this small vignette version of Sweets, Treats, and Eats, we have two things on our menu, as you can see. We're going to do a macaroni and cheese casserole, and this is just really awesome. You're going to like this a lot. And we'll lighten it up with some salad wraps, which also very cool. We set it up like a little buffet, and the people can roll their own salad wraps. So that's really exciting. So let's talk a little bit about macaroni and cheese. Macaroni and cheese is just comfort food with a capital C. Everybody loves macaroni and cheese, and a lot of people grew up on the little blue box with macaroni and cheese. I did. But now, as you grow up and your tastes become more sophisticated, you like to try other things. And there are all types of macaroni and cheese that are out there. There are really crazy ones like lobster mac and cheese and the truffle mac and cheese. All different types of mac and cheese out there. Also, all different types of cheeses in mac and cheese. The standard mac and cheese has cheddar in it, but you can put all kinds of cheese in it as well. You can put things like Gruyere, Parmesan, Pecorino Romano, Gouda. Whatever your favorite cheese is, you can make it part of your macaroni and cheese. So we're going to get started and make a macaroni and cheese casserole. Okay, so let's get started making the roux. So the first thing we do is we take the butter, we put it in. All right, and then we're going to mix the butter, and we want to get it melted. So a roux is just a fancy name for melted butter and flour. So let's just turn the heat up a little here, okay? And so when you're making this, the butter that you use does make a difference. So there are different types of butter. Some have higher fat content in it than others. And for making things like macaroni and cheese, you shouldn't skimp when you're doing it. So we're using a European butter from a company called Kerry. Maybe you've seen it in the supermarket. And it's got a higher fat content in it, so it makes for a more luxurious and smooth type of dish when you're working on it. So we have the butter, it's melting nicely, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the flour and we're going to add it to it. So we have the flour here, and we're going to add the flour in, and we're going to mix it. We're going to continue to mix it until it's all covered by the butter. We want to make sure that we get it all covered. And then what we're going to do is, once we get it covered, we're going to switch to a whisk to sort of make sure we get all of the flour that's sort of covered in here. And we want to cook it for a while because we want to cook out the taste of the raw flour. And so we're going to cook it for about 3 minutes, and it's going to be ready to go. Okay, so you can see the roux has developed nicely, and all of the flour has been absorbed in it. So we'll now go on and we'll work on the milk part of it. Here we have the milk, and we're going to add that to the pot we have here. And now the idea is to infuse flavor into the sauce that we're making. So we're going to put lots of nice things in there. The first thing we're going to do is that we're going to take some nutmeg. And nutmeg is one of those things that macaroni and cheese really likes. So this is a nutmeg, looks like a nut. And we're just going to put it against our grater here. Okay, put that in. Next, we're going to add some onions. We'll put those in. And now we're going to put one of the stars of the show, bacon. So we're going to add some bacon slices here. And the idea is to infuse these flavors into the sauce. So we put the bacon in, and now we're going to put some spices in. So we're going to put a little garlic powder in. All right, and a little cracked pepper. And we're going to put a bay leaf. And a little kosher salt. All right, and now we're just going to mix it up. And now what we have to do is we have to let this steep for about 10 minutes so these flavors can develop. And then once we do that, we can continue on with our sauce. The strained diffused milk is here in my measuring cup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour a little bit into the cup, and then I'm going to set it down, and then I'm going to whisk the roux, make sure I get it all covered in. And you want to do this to make sure you don't have any lumps, in your sauce when you do it. So you want to make sure you whisk it well. Okay, that looks good. And now we're going to pour the rest of our milk in, our diffused milk. Okay. And then we continue to whisk. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to turn a low heat over it. And we're going to whisk it. And then what's going to happen is that it's going to thicken slowly. And then as it thickens, we'll then be ready to put the cheese in. Okay, you can see that our nice white sauce has thickened. And now it's time to put in the cheese. So we're going to start with cheddar. And we put our cheddar in like that. And we mix it around. All right, and that's the cheddar. Now we will take the Gruyere and we'll put that in. Give that a little mix around. And now we will take our Gouda and mix that in. And then the last is the Pecorino Romano. And we'll put that in. So now we're going to mix our cheese sauce up to make sure it gets nice and melty, which it is here. That is looking really, really good. So we're going to just keep mixing it. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add it to our macaroni. So we finished the cheese sauce, and now what we have in front of us here is our pre-cooked, and typically you use elbow macaroni for this. This is cavatappi, which is a type of elbows, but it's kind of more interesting. You can really use any type of macaroni that you want for this. You want to have something that's hollow in the middle so the cheese sauce will go into it. So we have our macaroni, and then we have our cheese sauce, which we have here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the cheese sauce into the macaroni. Look at that. Doesn't that look just fantastic? Okay, so we'll take that. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to mix it up a little. And then we're going to put it into a casserole dish. And we're going to put it in the oven first to get cooked a little bit. And then we're going to pull it out. And we're going to put some panko breadcrumbs on it. And it's going to look fantastic. So we're going to put it in the casserole dish right now.
Hi, I'm Jerry Barmash. Join me for Here Now the News. It's an entertaining one-on-one interview featuring newsmakers and much more, whether it's political or pandemic related, someone from the media or an author. You'll find it here. A fun chat. And hopefully you'll learn something too. Recent guests have included Petri Hawkins-Byrd, the former Judge Judy bailiff, legendary game show host Bob Eubanks, and Matt Asner, son of famed actor Ed Asner. Subscribe and share. Don't miss Here Now the News as part of the Empty the Bench podcast network.
So salad is one of those things that you need to liven up. It's boring. So what can we do to sort of liven up salad? If you remember in the old days, when you went out to restaurants, they had these really cool things called salad bars. And the salad bars had this really big expanse of all different types of things. And this, if you look here, this looks a lot like a salad bar. So you can see it has things like craisins and bacon and nuts and croutons and blue cheese and olives and tomatoes and some blue cheese dressing. And you used to take your plate of lettuce and you used to walk through the salad bar and you used to put whatever you want on it and then went back to the table and you ate your salad. So we're going to do a takeoff on that, and it's called a salad wrap. And so we just picked some ingredients here that we thought were good to have, but you can really use whatever you want here. You can use different types of cheeses, you can use different types of meats, different types of dried fruits, and vegetables like green peppers and other stuff like that. So whatever you want, you can do that. So why don't we see right now if we can put together a lettuce wrap. All right, so the lettuce we have here, this is a Boston Bib lettuce, and it's a special type of soft lettuce. It's pretty fancy. You can use other types of lettuce as well. So you can use romaine or iceberg, whatever you're comfortable with. So we start out with a leaf of lettuce that we have here, and then we just build it the way we want. So if we want a little bit of blue cheese on it, we can put blue cheese here. And if we want a little bit of bacon, we could take some bacon and we can put it on like that. And then maybe a few craisins. We put the craisins on there, and then some walnuts, like that. And then maybe we grab an olive, because people love their olives. My grandson is an olive monster. He just loves eating monsters, so we'll give him 2. And then we'll grab a mini grape tomato. These things are just really great. And then to, end it all up, we're going to put a little bit of salad dressing, and this is blue cheese that we have over here. We'll just put a little bit more on it. Okay, so now what you do is you just take the lettuce and you wrap it, and you wrap it, and there you have it. There's your finished lettuce wrap. And you can make a couple of them, and then you can either pick them up and eat them, or with a knife and a fork. So if you want to see other things that are going on the ETB network, you can check out our social networking, which is at ETB Networks. And we'll be right back. So here we have it, our Living Life Sweets, Treats, and Eats New Year's celebration. So as you can see by our menu board, what we put together for you today, we put together this awesome mac and cheese casserole, which we finished off, by the way, by spreading some panko breadcrumbs over the top, back into the oven for 10-15 minutes, and they come out nice and crunchy on top of the macaroni and cheese. And this is just an awesome dish that your family and friends are going to love to dive into. And then on the lighter side, we had our salad wraps, a takeoff on the old salad bar that we used to go to. And you can set that up with any type of fixings that you want, any type of lettuce that you want, and it makes these really nice side dishes that you have with you. So that's it for our vignette to New Year's. It's also our last show of the year, and we are at Living Life ETB. That's where you'll find links and recipes from the podcast that we have done. I'd like to say Happy New Year to all of you and your friends and your family. This is the bottle that I'm going to break open on New Year's. I hope you have one as well. And we look forward to seeing you in 2022. Take care, everybody.